Hello and welcome to another South Tip Arts podcast. This time we're throwing the focus on an interesting exchange project between the students of LIT in Clonmel and Bradley University in Chicago. The project is called Out My Window and it's being coordinated on this side of the Atlantic by Marie Walsh, lecturer, and she told me how the project came to be. Okay, Marie, the Bradley project. Can you explain to me what it is?
No problem at all. So I met a very interesting lady over the summer, and she ran this project with students that she had in Oslo and paired with a school in Spain. And the idea being you would choose a window. It could be any window. Your car window, the window of your bus, I think one of the students are going to use. It could be your bedroom window, either now or of your childhood. And whichever window you choose, then you're asked to write a description of what you see out that window. And we've asked students to write a minimum of a page. We don't want it to be, we would love it to be, an exercise of love rather than it being an essay or a piece of hardship for them, but to choose something. And I think in that description, it will reveal a lot, not just about the place, but perhaps even of the person who makes that description. And so when I heard about this project over the summer, I loved it. And I asked, it was a principal of the school, Anna is her name, and I asked her permission. And she was, to use the same project. She was absolutely thrilled. She says, go, have a blast. So I'm going to update her as it progresses. Yeah. So I'm very fortunate, and here in LIT Clonmel, we're very fortunate. We have a very good relationship with Bradley University. And I was very lucky to go and work with them for a couple of weeks this year. So after the summer, I thought, I'd love to, let's take a risk, bring the project to life. And so I contacted Bradley and said, what do you think? How about we pair up Bradley students with LIT students? And I sent it to the head of the department over there, and he forwarded it on, and his lead animator, Scott Kavanagh, was jumping up and down, delighted, no problem. And he said, yes, I've got nearly 40 animation students for you. Wow. How would you like to do this? Yeah. So we had a little Skype call about 2 weeks ago, and how we've set it up. And really, I'm very aware of how busy students are and how much work they have to do. And so we had a chat about making it a short project, not to increase the pressure of this, but just to have more fun with it, and to see it as something light. And so we randomly paired up 35 animation students here in Clonmel with 35 students in Bradley. Scott sent on an email to each to do the initial introduction between them. And then each student was asked to choose their own window, something that meant something to them, write their description and exchange it with their partner in a different country. When the description is exchanged, and we literally gave them a week, write a description, exchange it. And then after that week, they have another 10 days to take the other person's description and create an art still from it. Okay. And they're all asked to play to their strengths. So if you want to do watercolour, go for it. Go ahead. If you want. So you can draw. You can do this digitally or in traditional media or whatever. Yeah. No, we've advised against, even to their animation students, we've advised against them, let's say, doing something that's animated, because we all know how long that takes. Yeah. And we don't want it to be hardship. I would love, if a student does something that don't be really so precious about it. Just enjoy it. Exactly. And then it's a chance for them to connect, with another student from Bradley, somebody of a similar age, in quite a similar program, even though they're across the Atlantic, and going into an industry that they're interested in. So it's a chance to build their network and make a real connection. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. It's really good. I love it. Well, we'll see how it all pans out. So maybe you could, at the end, send some of those my direction, and I could even post them just to inform this, as, it'll make more sense. Well, part of the icing on the cake is that we are going to have a Skype call then on the 18th of October, where we're going to have the majority of Bradley students. Fortunately for them, it'll be 8 a.m. It'll be 2 p.m. Irish time, so we're getting the better end of the deal. That we're going to talk about the process, share the artwork. And Scott and I have both agreed that we will print off, the best work and get it framed. So we'll have our students' work framed and up on campus in the US. That's really good. That's really good, really good. And I suppose with all the international students that pass through here, there's a chance that, would they come through from Bradley to here sometimes? Erasmus and all. Funny you should say that, because we had 2 students earlier on in the year who were here from Bradley. And we have a student from Game Art Design who's going to Bradley next January. And then we have 3 Bradley students lined up to come the following year. So it's been lovely.
Oh, it's
kind of
lovely to have
relationship
that
that's building.
exchange, isn't it? Yeah, it's really nice, really nice. Yeah, thanks for talking to me about the Out My Window project, Marie, and best luck with it. And I look forward to seeing the results of the students' work.
Thank you.
And during that visit, I also got the chance to speak to some of Marie's first year students who are taking part in the Out My Window project, and they explained a little bit more about it to me. Okay, Louise, do you want to tell me a little bit about the Bradley project?
It's basically a project about like looking outside, like your window and what you can see. Like look outside your window, what can you honestly see? And we were kind of like exchanging this with American students in a college in Chicago, and they're going to be doing the same thing. So we're kind of like swapping it over, like.
So your brief was given to you by Marie. So you've got the option to choose any window you like. So your car window, your bedroom window, your apartment window, anything. You get a written description from the American student of what they see out their window, and that's what you send back to them.
Well, yeah, basically we write a description of the view outside our window. They do the same thing, and I'm pretty sure we both draw the one we receive.
Okay, so were you constrained by how many words you're allowed to use in that description? Is it...
I think all she said was don't go above 2 pages.
Okay, so you can be quite specific in your descriptions. And have you all got your written descriptions done already?
Yes.
Okay. Explain to me how that will be translated visually.
It can be like, it could be traditional like painting or drawing, or it could be like digital, like, on a program, art program.
I'm doing mine digitally.
Do any of you have your descriptions, or...
I do.
Do you? Could you read it to me?
Yes, I can read it for you. No, this is from the American student.
Okay, yeah, that'd be lovely to hear that.
When I look out my back window, I see 2 long white banisters cascading down along the cement steps. After you reach the bottom, the 5th and final step is the long path of cement in the shape of 4 squares that line up like a checkerboard. In front of the cement squares is a white garage. There is one large white rectangular door attached to it. This looks like a white chocolate bar laying on the side. It has a thin black roof and a long white gutter lining the top and the right side of the door, turning into a spout to dispense the collected water. In the bottom left corner, in front of the garage, there is a plastic dog, specifically Dalmatian, wearing a red collar. To the left of the squares stands a large black metal fence. The metal rods that formed the fence all parallel to one another, with one piece connecting them at the bottom, and another attaching them, all about 4 inches from the top. The rods themselves are twisted like Twizzlers, rising towards the sky. On these metal rods are brown tree-like vines that wrap around from the ground to the clouds. They lead to a large plant growing wild, like a bush floating up in the sky, but made out of leaves. Sprinkled through the green lay orange blossoming flowers. To the right of the garage and the cement squares is a small patch of grass, about 6 by 8 feet in size. Butting up to the garage and the small butt of greenery stands 4 pine trees, not too tall and not too thick, standing just close enough together that it looks like a wall. You couldn't see through it, so that the car behind them was blocked from view. All the way from the far right is a small wooden fence with vertical thin slats of wood lined up together, creating a sealed barrier between my house and the one next door.
That is really specific, isn't it? As you were reading that out there, I could nearly put a picture together in my head. Is yours the same? Is it very different, what you've received? Is it similar to what Louise would have got? Or?
For example, what I received was fairly short and it was more metaphorical. So I think that's like one of the cool parts of the project, that it really depicts each person's personality. Because not only did we have the liberty of choosing what we want to portray, so what window we wanted to send to the other person, but as well we had the liberty to be really specific, like the one Louise got, or go into more poetry thingies, and that's, well, I think that's the beauty of it.
Could I hear your one, just to hear the difference?
Sure. Outside my window there's a big green garden. The shortest of the trees stand near the edge, announcing the outline of the space. Above them can be seen what once were raised canals made out of land rock. The columns that hold the canal arch easily over the short trees. Peeking out, you can see the green foliage of the bigger trees that lay beyond the garden. Gracefully watching over everything stand tall mountains that seem to cascade back into the earth, as if wanting to refuse their inevitable meeting with the clouds.
Ooh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty graphic telling.
But you've got a lot of freedom in that, I suppose, in that description. There's more freedom than there is in Louise's. But are you required to stick specifically to, like, Louise, will you go into every detail of that and try and recreate it on your page? Or are you just going to take the bits that jump out?
I probably won't do everything. I'll see how it goes.
Have you attempted to put anything on paper?
I only just got this.
You just
today,
got
so
it today,
I can't
okay.
really-
Yeah. And what about yourself, Fergal?
Well, the one I received was a bit more mid-length, and I'd say what I'm most thankful about it is it's pretty simple. Its main features are having, like, in front of this person, the person I got it from is named Dominic Rotti, or Roti, I don't know how this is pronounced, but yeah, the view described here involves some tree branches in the corner. So, well, not just tree branches, but a bunch of green and yellow leaves. He was very descriptive about the colors. So, yeah, green and yellow leaves in the corner and a white house in the middle of it. And in front of the house is a patch of grass, and in front of that is the street with 5 different colored cars. And he specifically described the street as gray asphalt with an orange line and everything. I'd say the one flaw here is that unless I'm just not remembering, he doesn't really describe what's to the right of the house. He describes what's to the left. But, yeah, I don't know.
A super interesting project. So this thing will culminate in you all having conversation on Skype. Is it one-on-one conversation with your opposite student?
So the teacher told us that she encourages us to connect with them. So that meaning talking to them via Skype or something like that, FaceTime. And then in class, we'll have a meeting with the other class. So we'll get both of them.
That'd be really kind of fun, wouldn't it? As aspiring animators or, animators in training, how are you finding it here? Workload is heavy enough, yeah?
Yeah, pretty heavy workload.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Inktober in particular is just breaking my body down.
Yeah.
Is the class doing that as a, like...
Yeah, we were doing that as a project. And I mean, the teacher gave us the liberty of not having to do specifically one each day, so you can do one every 2 days or something like that.
But still,
I and many others chose to do one every day.
Yeah.
And now it's day 10, day 7, and it's starting to get hard.
And you use the prompt every day, or are you trying to make your own? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really doing it every day, because some days I just don't have the time, but I'm trying to keep it. The main important thing is having 31 by the end of the month, so some days, like this weekend, I did 4 in the 2 days. Most importantly, I did 3 in 1 day, which was grueling by the end. And
So, look, thanks for talking to me. Thanks for giving me your time. And good luck with the project. I'd like to see the finished product of it because it just sounds really interesting. So thanks.
You're welcome.
You can see and hear more student work in the coming weeks as the students and staff prepare for Design Clonmel, a festival of design co-creation, animation and game development. And it runs from the 21st to the 31st of October 2019. The festival features a number of talks and workshops aimed at young people who are interested in this area as a career choice, and also features a Digital Careers Day where secondary students can explore the possibilities in the ever-expanding field of digital media. Places need to be reserved for these events, and you can secure your place by visiting Design Clonmel on Eventbrite. You can also follow creative media and digital animation production at LIT through their social media channels for further information. Here at the Arts Centre, and in honour of Inktober, we will be showcasing some of the excellent student animations in the coming weeks, as well as some wonderfully creative still imagery, all created by the talented students of LIT Clonmel. This is of particular interest to anyone, young or old, who's interested in animation or illustration, and will give a great insight into the process involved in digital creative work. You can keep an eye on our social media channels for more information about this one. If you'd like to get in touch with the podcast, the email address is southtippartspodcast@gmail.com. That's southtippartspodcast@gmail.com. Speak to you all again next time.